and welcome to the Raw Vegan Guru channel, where we are raising our health consciousness one thought at a time, one meal at a time, one action at a time. So I say hello to all earthlings, and there may be other worldly beings joining this as well, so I would never leave them out, as we are all collectively one. And I appreciate having you. You know, one of the most challenging things that I've done a lot, so I'm not going to downplay the other things. They were some tough cookies, I'll say. But keeping and building a YouTube channel with subscribers is like dentistry to me. Maybe a better description would be moving dentistry. So it'd be like, I don't have a degree to be a dentist. I have no prior education. I just have a pair of pliers. And I'm standing on the side of the highway, and as people drive by, and they're convertible, so I have a little bit of access, I need to pull a tooth, a specific tooth in each person's head. That's pretty much what it's like to build a YouTube channel with subscribers for me. Now, I get a kick out of, and blessings to all who, will wake up the next day and they've got, 20,000 new subscribers. That's beautiful and groovy, and it means that somebody is connecting and getting out a message that others are benefiting from. So I'm all about anybody flourishing. I have just found it to be such a challenge, but that's okay. I'm going to keep going. And some days I'll see a subscriber grow, only by a few. And then other days I'll see them taken out. So I think like people are getting on their phones or they're on the computer and they're like, yeah, that raw vegan guru guy, I gained some things, but I'm going to go back and unsubscribe. I'm going to take away that subscribe. Now, I get a kick out of it because I've never done that. When I subscribe to somebody, I have an interest in something. So even if it's not every video, something will come up again. And it always strikes true that I appreciate whatever message they're conveying. It's on and off, it's up and down, just like life itself. But I've never gone back and unsubscribed. So I get a kick out of that. But, maybe I deserve it. We've got some karma going on. It is payback time. Who knows how many cycles we're trying to piece out on. So today's video is going to be on food poisoning. Now, food poisoning is something that I believe most people don't think about or don't consider the seriousness of it or what it's all about until it happens to them. So it's kind of like you hear others have food poisoning and different issues or digestive complications, and we think, oh, that's sad, that's too bad for them. But the truth is, it is all hell breaks loose when it happens to you. So I am one of those stories. I'm sympathetic to all people's ill health and all people's challenges when it comes to their bodies and their equilibrium. But one day, boom, and this is how it happens for people with the food poisoning. I was moving and grooving. I was doing my thing. I'm keeping my balanced diet. We're rocking on fruit all day. We're lemon water. We're intermittent fasting. And then I have my raw vegetable, dinner at night. Not every night, but that's pretty much the cycling, I'll say, and I feel great with that. So one day, literally overnight, I was feeling crampness and tightness in my stomach, and I know my body very well, and I'm always listening. My body's always speaking, and I get the messages, and I'm just always in that relationship. Hence, even having this channel is for me to share what I know, so hopefully it can help you in your journey. So I'm getting tight cramping, and I know something's wrong, something is off, and I review what I've eaten in the past few days. Nothing stands out that's different. I don't always wash my all organic fruits and vegetables. So I'm thinking maybe I got some microbe or some, like bacteria, something's going on. And then, bam, I got hit with diarrhea. and it was the water run diarrhea where just the gates open and immediately, beside feeling pretty crummy and exhausted rather quickly as you get dehydrated and a lot of energy is being exerted and a lot's being let out of your body and a defense mechanism for survival, so your body is helping you. But I was trying to piece together, where is this coming from, what is this about? So I observe and I listen and I do my meditative practices and my deep breathing and my sun gazing. And I know it's always a matter of time. Bam! I got the answer. So it was some lemons that I had cut a few days before, and I had put them in a container, a glass, nice container. And I noticed that before I had squeezed them, the day before that, and then that day again. So within that, 48, 36 something period cycle is when things walloped inside of me. But I noticed that the lemons were a little slimed along the film of the wedges I had cut. And I've had this before, and I always push the bar when it comes to my fruits and vegetables. If I've got a leaf, a collard green with some blackened holes formulating, I'll cut it out. Or if I got an apple with a spot, I'll cut it out. So I'm always, moving and grooving and working around on my vegetables and my fruits. So, with that being said, I just treated it like anything else. I was like, oh, okay, these lemons are, going to wrap up pretty soon, but I'm not going to waste them and use them. Well, that's never going to happen again. Once I get a slime on a lemon, and people watching this right now might say, yo, vegan boy, that's pretty obvious. You shouldn't have done it. And you know what? You're right in hindsight. Like I said, I'm always pushing the bar, trying not to waste any food, as I don't waste any food. I really am good about the blessings and the abundance that I have in my life to always cherish every morsel and bite. So if you have any food poisoning stories, leave a comment below. Let me know about that. How long did it last? Did you know what it was from? And did you learn anything? Because I sure as heck did. So, what is food poisoning? Food poisoning simply is something that maybe cross contamination, something at a restaurant. They cut the chicken, then they cut the broccoli. So basically, in essence, you're coming down to getting bacteria, germs. I've even read that you can get viruses from food poisoning, but there's a little bit more to the story as I did my detective work, because not only are you getting the germ, you're getting the thing that is foreign to your system, and it's going to wreak some havoc. It's going to basically cause your body to respond in the digestive tract, primarily, is that you can also have affiliation to parasites and worms and different organisms that can basically be a part of that food poisoning, that poisoning of the system, that foreign entity that tries to invade. But your body, pretty much through the symptoms, you have nausea, headache, fatigue, diarrhea, cramping, sore, tender stomach, sometimes even acid reflux, heartburn coming up. Your body is really going to let you know that there is a foreign invader. So that is what food poisoning kind of simply is about, is when the conditions are not correct in the preparation of food. Food has been left out that should have been at a certain temperature. Like I, being from New York, used to have some stories from friends being affiliated in the deli circles, because that's New York. Sometimes the mayonnaise was left out. So when I went in a deli and I saw the mayonnaise vat being left out in room temp, I knew there was going to be some food poisoning issues, things like that. So always keep your eyes open. But also, in my case, something was slimed, something was, let's say, mushed. It's going past the point. So you have to realize that as there's decay and things are breaking down, that can also cause some bacteria, maybe even some fungus, some mold, some things that are going to cause your body to respond. And the consequences of food poisoning is horrifically uncomfortable. I had this diarrhea for almost a week. And it also came with very, very severe cramping of my stomach. My stomach felt like it was being twisted in knots and wrapped around with barbed wire. I had sharp pains. I knew things were going down. It was not good. And right about the 5 day mark is when I got, my alarm bells, and I said, okay, this has been going on long enough. I've really got to look into this and turn this around, because something is seriously wrong. So first thing I did when I started to have the diarrhea and I started to have the stomach abdominal pain, and I knew something was going on in the digestive system, stopped all food. So whenever I have a challenge or a difficult situation in my body, whether it's physical, or even on the energetic level, I'll always know to stop. That's just my thing. I know to do it. I stop. So, I injure my back. I stop. And I get diarrhea. I stop. So the thing that I'm going to do primarily first is I'm going to slowly try to get back in those liquids, that hydration that I've lost on a major scale through the diarrhea activity. So I'm going to sip on my water, and that's about it. I'm not going to eat any food. If I'm going to approach any food, it's going to be a little buffer time here, hours, maybe a day, 20 hours. I'm just going to basically pull back. I'll have a banana, or I might make my own mashed apple. I'll just put that in the food processor, add maybe a little lemon, and have that, by the spoon. Pectin is very helpful. The banana just really soothes me. It's always a go-to if I'm having upset stomach issues or diarrhea. So that's what I do. I pull back and do nothing. Then, when you start to reintroduce, you want to come back into the world of something from nothing because you're just going through it like, oh my goodness, this is all wrong. Chamomile tea is wonderful. Ginger, fresh ginger is wonderful. Perhaps, some ginger tea. Basil leaves are really nice. Just chew on some fresh basil leaves. Um, and I just keep it real simple. Sometimes I know that this goes against the raw way, but in other videos I've discussed, I'm a true believer in the stomach healing powers of potatoes. So I might move into a soothing potato soup, which I've explained in other videos. Real simple. You can just steam or bake those potatoes and then whip them up in a food processor or blender with some hot water, and bam, a little sea salt. Nothing that's going to be an irritant. I wouldn't add black pepper or paprika or any other herbs. Really, just simple sea salt because you've really lost those salts and some minerals and vitamins in your diarrhea spell. So that's about it. Real simple. But here's something as a little add on that might be going on. You might already have worms and parasites in your digestive system. Where those came from, do your detective work and go down the backside journey from where you were before. It can come from so many different places, and they really can fester and hang in there, and start to multiply and not reveal themselves until they're like, yo, you feel uncomfortable because I'm wreaking havoc and I'm trying to take over, and I got a funky attitude because I'm all over the place in here, Anya. And what you going to do about it? So I'm like, you know what? They might be right. And I know they're trying to communicate with me when they're like, give me starch, give me sugar, refined sugar, that is not fruit sugar. Uh, I know that there's other heads involved here. There's other minds that are sending messages because that's what happens when people have candida and different imbalances. That also involves yeast and molds, but you have the worms and you have the parasites who are basically craving the foods that they flourish on, which are not going to be really enjoying your raw food ways, but they love the processed foods, they love the refined sugars, they love the starches. So, is that snow? Is that possible? So, with that being said, um, maybe it's time to deworm, deparasite, and think about that and approach it. So that's exactly what I did. So from coming from the food poisoning into the fasting, then into the slow reboot, which really began with the banana, a little apple. I did have some avocado that was debatable, but it felt smooth on my stomach. Now I'm back and I'm just real gentle in my approach. I've laid off the vegetables since returning out of that trip because that's a lot of roughage and it takes a lot of energy. And sometimes you get a little gassy in that breakdown of the cauliflower and the broccoli and you know what, and the tomato and the carrots, because that's just a little bit more denser and a little bit more fibrous than the fluid fruit. So then I went to my wormwood. I always keep wormwood tincture in the medicine cabinet. Herbs are the answer to everything in the imbalance. So wormwood, what's that about? Well, basically, in essence, it's a bitter. It's a tonic. I like to use it in tincture form, and it's going to basically, if I'm not mistaken, it disrupts and peels off the outer layers of the worm that is infesting the parasitic form. It makes the environment unruly for them and they don't dig it. But if you want a really nice balanced mix, Dr. Robert Morse wouldn't be here without that beautiful soul. All knowing and tuned into absolute real health and the vitality of the human cell and our ability and awareness to use what was given to us in essence to turn it all around and live a flourishing, positive, beautiful, high level life of health and wellness. So that's in a nutshell. Definitely subscribe, check him out on YouTube. He is by far the most intelligent and tapped in doctor that you probably will ever come across. There's some others, but boy, do I love Dr. Morse. Love you. So, with that being said, he has the best organic, wild crafted herbal tincture lines. He has capsules, he has teas. Dr. Robert Morse, if you just look him up, he has his botanical herb, I believe it's titled website, or go through his YouTube channel. That's where I get all of my herbs primarily. Sometimes I'll get loose raw herbs and do my own thing, do my own kind of concoction and tea making. But that's where I got my parasitic and my worm. D in front of that. D-worm. D-parasite. Get out of here. Now, you will see those guys in your fecal matter when they come out, so you can keep track of what is going on and how you're doing. You don't want to do these cycles too long. I might do it, for a month where I'm deworming, deparasiting, but I'm not going to continue that very, very elongated. Perhaps maybe up to 3 months if I have a real problem. And if I'm not seeing results, then I'm going to look into things further or amp it up. But if you have worms and parasites, which you aren't going to see like the worms, you're going to be able to witness them exiting. Now, there's a lot of resources online where you can see what these guys look like. Some of them are little tiny white little strands. Others are longer, like gummy worms, and it's crazy. So take a look at that. And there are pictures of different fecal holdings, which will show you what they look like in there. And it's very important. Don't be afraid of looking at what comes out, because that's a reflection of what's going on in. So, food poisoning. I explained how I got it. I explained how I resolved it, how I basically responded to the situation. Like everything I always say, stop, go to the nothing, go to the listening, do the fasting, and then come in with those slow healing foods and the herbs and where I am now. So that was about 2 weeks ago, and it sent me on a spellbender. Um, I was very uncomfortable. I didn't even know if I'd ever come out of it. I thought that the rest of my life was going to be total cramping and irritability and misery and uncomfortability. Boy, I couldn't even eat if I wanted to. My stomach was so ravaged. Um, I learned so much more about myself and about our planet and about energy fields and cosmic truth and self-love and observation and being present in the moment, taking nothing for granted, full of gratitude and blessings for every cherished and balanced moment that I can flourish in and truly enjoy, because that was a major bummer. Major bummer. So I'm so glad I'm out of it. If you've had any food poisoning issues, really leave a comment below. Let others hear your story. Maybe it can help them. If you have any tricks of the trade that have helped you, please let us know. Of course, I did not mention any over-the-counter medications, because those are only going to mask the symptoms that you must listen to and let play out its course. It's also going to basically um uh what would be the word, like it's going to basically group everything together chemically. It's going to cause a constipative response. It's going to tighten your bowels. It's going to acidify the system, as all pharmaceutical concoctions do, and it's not going to take care of the problem. It's going to bury it, which is only going to affect and connect and have sort of impact on another system in the body, where you're going to be strained and imbalanced, and you're not going to be comfortable somewhere else as it gets kind of pushed around or things get lodged. So nothing over the counter. We really just have to allow the body to do these things when it needs to do it. We need to listen. We need to love ourselves, and we really need to allow the body to rejuvenate itself and to relinquish its true potential by listening and allowing. So that's how I go about most bumps in the road. And I'll tell you, if anybody ever says to me they had food poisoning, I am truly, truly impacted now to say I am so sorry to hear this. Everybody, please be careful. Wash your countertops well with your natural cleaners, your vinegar and your lemon, and be aware of where your foods are coming from. Restaurants, I'll tell you, I know the gig, worked in restaurants over 25 years. I know it all about it. But what I can say is I know food poisoning can come out of those conditions, that's for sure. So try to do as much as you can at home, being mindful. And once there's a response or something's thrown off from the norm in the body, really just stop and start the process of coming back as a famous, horrific, horrible, I must say, in the deepest sense of energy field, intelligence or lack of, judgment, demonic levels. This person would say, let's come back around on that, right? So if you, really want an answer about something, let's come back around. And when we come back around, we actually give answers. And those answers are, listen, something is thrown off, and it's time for you to do the right thing. Don't mask it. Don't cover it up. Don't run, but stay in your place and turn things around in the most natural, forgiving, compassionate way. So I hope that this video helped you today with a little perspective on food poisoning and the heck that it can happen to anybody. So that's something to really consider. So I hope everybody enjoyed this video. Please hit the like button. Any comments, leave them down below. One day I'm thinking about in a decade, I'm gonna pass 60 subscribers, and then I'm gonna be flowing in the commercials and the money. Well, not yet, but we're getting there. Thank you so much. I love you. I appreciate your time and all your support. Take care of yourself and take care of others. We are all one. Love you. Bye.